Get ready. I see it on Periscope, D-Live, Facebook. Come on, YouTube, I can do it. And Twitch should be live shortly. What's up, everybody? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, Monday, November 9th, 2020. Wow, crazy. I was about to say stay tuned for hour 3 or something like that. I don't know. But, hello, everybody. They are pushing the COVID thing like crazy. They're pushing the Biden thing like crazy. It's funny. It's like they're getting mad at you because you're like, hold on, it's not over yet. People are trying to force you to believe something that isn't true yet. Who knows what the future holds, right? It's crazy. The votes have not been certified. So I'm going to be touching on all of this madness, and the mainstream media is going crazy. Does Matt Drudge hate President Trump, or is he just spreading what the mainstream media is saying? I don't know. And Dr. Ben Carson, he caught COVID allegedly, according to reports. And they're trying to push the fact that I guess old folks are dying at double the rate that they were dying before or something like that, which is strange. Like, it's not really what I've been hearing, but I'm confused by all this news. And they're trying to push for shutdowns, these female experts. There's a female expert that I read in Hake News today. They're trying to push for shutdowns. And then they're saying that Joe Biden is president-elect. He's not yet. He's not. And they're saying, oh, his first thing that he would do is a nationwide mask mandate. What? That's ridiculous. Well, the thing that I'm happy about, though, is here in Los Angeles, supposedly, anytime you're outside of your house, you're supposed to have a mask on. And I would say a good half of the people don't. Maybe more. Maybe less. But it's crazy. Soros bought out Drudge, says Ghost Murdoch? I don't know, man. But anyway, I'm going to be touching on also this Black Lives Matter pastor who's a phony. And he got fired allegedly he says that he was unfaithful to his wife. But I have some I might play some old throwback clips of him from The View. He's just a trendy, no backbone, fake guy. What a shame. And it seems so common nowadays, too. But a mega church pastors, nonetheless. Anyway, let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, what's up, everybody? I am James Hake, and you can call in 888-775-3773. Beta Legs Ben says, mega church pastors are false prophets. Yeah. And Ghost Murdoch is getting vulgar. But hey, if you have information about Soros getting involved with Drudge, he's not the only evil one, right? It's crazy. I'm getting all kinds of answers with regard to the volume of my intro song. I'm hearing a few ones, a few threes, a 2, meaning too loud, too quiet, perfect. I don't know. Based America First asks, wasn't Carl Lentz, which is the pastor that I'm going to talk about today, pro-choice and pro-same-sex marriage? He was definitely wishy-washy. Probably okay with, I don't want to even get into speculation. But, so, did you hear that Dr. Ben Carson, he caught COVID? Is he going to suffer any symptoms? That remains to be seen. He seems like a fairly healthy guy. Nice, which is not a positive thing. Not a positive thing. But he likes Trump. That's a positive thing. He's for what's right. That's a positive thing. And he's not that old or fat or, to my knowledge, poor in health. So he'll probably be fine. Make sure to watch to find out if his COVID symptoms hurt him or not. Most likely, he'll be just fine. But the mainstream media has been reporting that nursing homes are suffering. Nursing homes are suffering. Oh, SpongeBob. Oh, you guys are talking about... Some people are talking about my T-shirt. My T-shirt, I'm wearing a T-shirt from this band. It's a free jazz band called Create with an exclamation in brackets right after it. And it has, what are these things called? Tadpoles on it. It's kind of like I guess, like bullfrogs and butterflies have both been born again. Are you familiar with that Christian children's song? Bullfrogs and butterflies have both been born again. Because bullfrogs came from tadpoles. Tadpoles sprout legs and arms and become frogs. And butterflies are normally, silkworms or something like that. And then they go in the cocoon and become born again with wings and stuff. Cool, huh? So I think, no, it's free jazz, which is like weird music. In some cases it sounds nice. In some cases it's like kind of unlistenable. But I knew the guy. I worked with him. It was just, and he put out rap music too, Christian rap music. He owned a record label, Christian rap, but it was weird Christian rap. You guys ever heard of? If I think of more, I'll tell you more. But back to this COVID thing, the COVID is being hyped still. You haven't heard about it because of Black Lives Matter. You stop hearing about it with Black Lives Matter. You stop hearing about it with the celebrations in the streets, with, the people pretending that Joe Biden has won when it remains to be seen whether he'll win. And I don't know. They're just pushing it like crazy. Well, people are dying in nursing homes again. But is that really a big surprise? They're supposed to be dying. They're the ones who get sick and die. The older folks in the nursing homes. And now they're saying we need more than just opening up the states again, because President Trump wants to open up the states. But these people, let me get to you these names. University of Chicago researchers, they claim that nursing home resident deaths doubled, I guess, from the end of May to late October, from 318 a week to 699. That's pretty low numbers, honestly. Is that nationwide? They don't really tell you. This is from AP. AP is supposed to be objective. Nope. They're liberal and they are vague. According to a study by University of Chicago, so-called health researchers Rebecca Gorges, Gorges, and Tamara Konetzka, Konetzka, a couple of females. And when I look into this, it was a Drudge headline, nursing home hot zones. I see this one woman, Konetzka, saying, trying to protect nursing home residents without controlling community spread is a losing battle. Nationally recognized expert on long-term care. Someone has to care for vulnerable nursing home residents, and those caregivers move in and out of the nursing home daily, providing an easy pathway for the virus to enter. So in other words, she wants to shut the whole thing down in order for, thank God she's not president, right? Thank God that President Trump is president and that there are some sane politicians, meaning Republicans, a little bit less insane, Republicans who are not shutting the states down as badly as the Democrats are. So supposedly the nation is setting, this is what they're pushing. The nation is setting records for coronavirus cases heading into cold weather season, when many experts expect the virus will be harder to contain. 104,000 new cases on Saturday. And from what I'm hearing, though, other sources are saying the death rate, the survival rate is 99 point something %. And the death rate is less than 1%. When I've heard that the death rate is supposed to be 3%. And so I'm getting all kinds of conflicting information. And I don't trust Wikipedia. I don't trust, because Wikipedia is in cahoots with the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization is part of the UN. And the World Health Organization is headed by that black guy from one of those African countries. And not just any black guy. It's not like a black Christian guy from one of those African countries. It's a black communist who kisses up to the women, and it's Dr. Tedros. That guy is in charge of the World Health Organization. And the UN has always been corrupt, I think, from the beginning. And so the UN is trying to say, oh, America is racist. We need to intervene into the racism of America. So in other words, like, the UN wants to take over America. So I don't trust anything from them. And I don't trust AP or Reuters or CNN or Google. Google is evil. Google is fake news. Oh my gosh. You know how I cover the election, right? And YouTube, which is Google, likes to put little notices. If I talk about climate change, they'll link to a Wikipedia article about climate change. Or if I talk about the elections, they'll say, we have a robust method for making sure that there's no voter fraud. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. We really have a robust method. Robust precautions or stuff set in place. Please, we're letting illegals stay in the country. We are not a high integrity country. And so that's from Google telling me that. So I don't know what to trust. So in short, just stay healthy, guys. Lose weight if you're fat, and get your sleep, get your water, even tap water. I think I'm the only person who drinks tap water in this building. Gross. Chris says it's vile. Maybe cut out the rock stars a little bit. Los Angeles water is poison. So that's what they're pushing with this COVID thing. There is supposedly a vaccine. Yeah, I like the mountain water. There is supposedly a vaccine that President Trump is happy about, and the markets are supposedly happy. I don't know anything about markets. I don't follow that stuff. But they're confident because Pfizer, this huge company called Pfizer, that is working on this vaccine along with some other weird named pharmaceutical company, right, has made a vaccine that is, they claim, over 90% effective, whatever that means. Who are they testing it on? I don't know. I don't know which company was testing people down in South America, but somebody died from it. And usually the people who volunteer to be tested are healthy individuals. So somebody died from a vaccine. And it's to be expected, right? Huge testing, somebody's going to die. It will be out by the end of the year, says based America first? I don't know. Will it be approved? Democrats do not want to give Trump credit. You know, he's been doing that. Is it called Operation Warp Speed? Something like that? To help fund the development of this vaccine and mobilize the military to distribute it. I don't want any military telling me to take this vaccine. I don't think Trump is for forced vaccinations, but would Biden be for it? I mean, would Biden have me strapped down and given a vaccine? Maybe that's the least of my worries, but yeah, exactly. Vaccine, no thanks. I'm trying to quit, says Paul Ferris. Yeah, Willie Palomino says, I don't even Google anymore. What do you do then? Where do you search? Because old habits die hard. Some people go to startpage.com. Some people use DuckDuckGo, although I've heard that Google bought DuckDuckGo, so I don't know. I don't know. But Reuters is saying that Pfizer and BioNTech say their COVID vaccine is 90% effective. And this dumb guy, Albert Bourla, Bourla, says, he's the chief executive and chairman of Pfizer, right? He says, today is a great day for science and humanity. Whatever. I support Trump. I do not necessarily trust these vaccines. If you're at risk and you want to be like, hey, this is my body, my choice, you can take your vaccine, but I'm not for this stuff. I am leery about that. They don't mind putting us at risk. Remember the food groups? When I was in kindergarten, I want to say, there was this thing called a food pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid, meaning the stuff that you're supposed to eat the most of, grains, bread, rice, starch, carbs, and now they're saying you're supposed to cut down on carbs. So which is it? And that's from the government, I think. So they don't tend to tell you the truth. And science doesn't know. They're using this science thing a lot more in their rhetoric. Yes, exactly. Science, i.e. anti-Christian. Yeah, and it's very politicized. And then it's funny because they accuse us of politicizing so-called science and politicizing COVID, when in reality, it's just because Republicans, or at least the sane Republicans, are not just rolling over and letting Democrats and liberal so-called scientists do what they want done. These doctors have no say in anything, right? They are just supposed to fix you when you're broken or help make you comfortable. But they're getting involved in gun control stuff. Oh, all these doctors have seen all of this major trauma from people getting shot, right? They've seen crazy wounds, the victims of gun violence. And so therefore, these doctors are fighting for so-called gun control. No, they're not. They're communists. They're anti-America. So I don't trust anything. What a mess. Anyway, I'm going to touch on this Carl Lentz guy. Alex Trebek died. Rest in peace. I love Alex Trebek. I liked him anyways. But it seemed, he said, according to Entertainment Tonight, that he wanted to be liked. And that makes me, maybe he was too nice. Maybe. Too well liked. These are rough times. These are rough times for a person to be liked. Let me get to some calls, though. Let me just double check the super chats. Thank you to Noah's Ark, Kansas, for the diamond and the Ninjagini. Very faithful supporter. I saw your Ninjet, by the way. Very generous. Appreciate that on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Thank you to Jesse Lee and Dark Side of the Bear What for hosting the show on D Live. And I'll be checking your Streamlabs as well. By the way, did you guys see the hot computer smell little sketch, drawing? I call it little sketch. Of it appeared on Jesse Lee Peterson's his live stream thumbnail. Just thought we would do something different. Shout out to Hot Computer Smell, the artist. Nice. Let me get to Earl in Michigan. He wants to talk about the elections. And then Rick, and then we'll keep on going. Earl, how are you doing?
Hola, buenos dias.
Hey.
This is James.
Good morning.
Hola, hiya, hilla, baby hilla.
Okay, Farrakhan. Baby Farrakhan.
Yeah, as you said, I want to talk about the election.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to talk about, just mention a couple of things that we in the future will go over. That's something you said, commented on some of your callers Friday. In fact, Ty from Pennsylvania was right about your president, now soon to be former president, Donald Trump, being a hypocrite, and you focus on being moral. By one of the moral presidents in history, and another thing.
What are you saying
about David? I said, you remember Ty from Friday talked about Donald Trump being immoral or whatever.
Oh yeah, some guy. Yeah, Ty. Ty was pretending that Trump is immoral and dishonest, and he pretends that Obama was genuine. That was ridiculous. But I appreciated your call, Ty.
You never heard him going into getting in any affairs or grabbing ladies by the.
I heard things. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe them, but I heard things. We did hear things.
And then going out and having unprotected sex when your wife is pregnant with porn stars, telling outright lies.
Only reason Obama didn't do that is because Obama's weak.
No, that's
I'm not
true,
saying that it's. I'm not saying that it's strong to do that, and I'm not saying. And honestly, I don't even know if what you're saying is true. And honestly, it's not even your business.
Is that something you recommend, Mr. Moral Man?
Of course not.
You're always talking about how blacks are so immoral. Is that what you preach?
Exactly.
When it comes to
all of a sudden, Earl cares about morality.
All of a sudden, you're making excuses.
I made no excuses.
Yes,
I just said Obama's weak.
You always justifying.
I never justified anything that he did.
Criticizing blacks. They're so immoral. But as soon as somebody mentions something, go ahead.
I never made any excuse for President Trump's past.
You didn't condemn by his morality either, did you?
Yes, I did.
Mr.
Yes, I
Preacher
did.
of morality?
Dude, I said, hold on. I said, Trump's children are not they're suffering a little bit as a result. One of them has rejected Christianity.
And another thing,
and married the Jewish guy.
Because you ain't talking about
liberal.
Nothing.
Hold on,
that little reverend man you talking about.
I'm going to put you on hold.
Ain't about.
I put him on hold. Don Jr. is getting involved with an older woman after he already got married and has 5 kids. And now he's involved with that older woman. And I kind of like her, but I'm not for him. For me. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's not even funny. I shouldn't joke like that, kids. Sorry, kids. But I never said. Okay, even President Trump himself said, admits to things that he did wrong in his past, but we're not going to talk about that. He doesn't tout this stuff, and he said to grab him by the whatever in private, and all of the dirty people, including Earl, are repeating it. Now, who's the immoral one? And he's the one making excuses for blacks all the time. It's funny. He's accusing me of being what he is.
He don't admit anything.
You're accusing me of being what you are.
And
Earl,
I don't care what you're saying. You can deflect all you want to.
No, you're
I
the
ain't
one
falling for
deflecting.
that ignorant
You're accusing
clown.
me of being what you are.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you.
That ain't gonna work, buddy. That ain't gonna work.
It already
that
worked.
Little deflection that you try to talk about me ain't gonna work because you make excuses for your.
How come you
for
always
your,
making
idol.
excuses for blacks?
And
How come you always making
don't
excuses?
Worry about that.
Yeah.
Why you make excuses for white?
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
That's a lie. That's another lie.
No, I don't.
And that's another thing.
Name one
we're gonna
excuse.
Talk about
Name.
at another time. Is about David asked you, "Are you American or are you pro-white?" And the more you talk, the more you contradicted yourself. That turns out you are more talking about white than American because you equate white with being American.
Exactly.
You're a hypocrite.
It's not a
That's why
hypocrite. It's reality.
That's why when you're talking about you're not promoting whiteness. Yes, you are, because they're one and the same. to
No,
me.
it's just that you hate white people.
No. But I'll get on that. We'll get into that. I'll get on the politics now. We'll get into that because we can go on and on.
Can you name one excuse I made for whites?
Tape,
Earl,
and you
Earl,
hear your own stuff.
Earl! Name one excuse I made for
Hissy
whites.
Fit, James, Hissy.
Earl, name one excuse I made for whites.
I'm not gonna get into that. That's a long.
Thank you. Thank you.
That goes down.
You can't think of any.
I said we'll get
You're
into
lying.
that at another. We'll get
Lying.
into that another time,
Yeah.
James. Because we know time. You didn't cut me off before I talk about what I started to talk about, which is the politics.
Stay close to your phone.
The thing about it, for all you know, I call it information callers and voters, talking about the elections being stolen and so forth, and all that because
Be honest, Earl.
True,
Let me cut you off right there, and I'll let you continue after, but be honest. Would you put it past those people in Philadelphia and Detroit and Milwaukee and all those places not to try to cheat?
Yeah, I put it past. I would put it past them because those measures was always already anticipated. That those folks who will come out and say you're cheating, you're doing this. They have it on tape. They got it videotaped. They got monitors. They got supervisors watching.
I know.
And,
I see shenanigans. I've seen shenanigans on videotape.
Listen, let me talk, fool.
I know, but hold on. Let me cut you off there.
Let me talk,
Hold
and I'll
on.
explain to you.
I will let you explain.
Why?
Shh, hold on. Hold your thought. Hold your thought. You have to be patient, man. I saw on videotape shenanigans. I saw one black guy looking around. Hold on, man. I got to explain. Okay. One black guy, poll worker, looking around, and then he seemed to fill out something. I don't know what he was doing. I heard that there was hot mic recording of one lady telling poll workers not to let the poll watchers see what you're doing. So I think maybe shenanigans. By shenanigans, I mean cheating. So, yeah, it's on tape.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay, that question was put to poll watchers. Can they cheat? They
Stay
said,
close to your phone.
We don't even have pencils or pens, so we can't write anything down.
No, we saw them with pens.
We don't even have trash cans where we can throw things away. Nothing is discarded.
We saw them with pens.
And so forth. So no, and they make it practically impossible for you to cheat, and they got it taped so you can be caught and busted.
Okay, yeah, it's practically impossible to cheat. All right.
And why would you think in Philadelphia?
Why are they? Hold on, Earl. Why are they so?
Why do you pick those cities?
Hey, hang on a second.
Why do you pick those cities, James?
Because those are the ones that did the swinging. Those are the ones that turned for. Those are the ones who stopped counting in the middle of the night when Trump was way ahead in all those places, all those states, Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Georgia and all that, or wherever. And then the next morning, all of these votes come in for Joe Biden like crazy. I don't know.
Let me explain something to you, James, because I think you're very ignorant or very inexperienced in politics.
Oh, I'm so naive. I think it's possible to cheat.
Listen.
Yeah, all right.
Just speaking strictly numerically.
Did you think that Russia was interfering with the election?
As voters,
hey,
there
Earl,
are more Democrat voters. Listen, there are more Democrat voters than Republicans. Okay, nationally, period.
More suckers.
So the fact that Donald Trump was leading is only proof that they're in certain situations, depending on how the state legislature, each state has it, that which ballot should be counted first, invalid or mail-in ballot, one side takes the lead. In many cases, they counted, walk-in ballot of people that voted first. So naturally, Trump took the lead in some of those states. And then lately, by them reporting everything, all you saw was a big number for Trump. They hadn't counted the mail-in ballot. So as the lead, as they start counting them and the lead started dwindling, all of a sudden, y'all saying he's cheating because he was leading. In fact, they predicted that Trump would say, well, if he's in the lead, he may come out and say he's the winner. And what did he do? Before anything was halfway done, he got the lead and say, I'm the winner.
Earl.
Why was that, James?
Because you're a complete sucker for the mainstream media.
No, because I'm exposing your stupidity.
No, you're exposing your own stupidity.
And the fact that's the way the process works. As in some states, they counted the mail-in ballot first, and they counted the walk-in last.
You got to calm down.
Arizona,
you don't know. You're getting into stuff that nobody knows or cares about. You're just making excuses. You're trying to cover up the fact that it's a very suspicious. Hold on. You got to be quiet.
Idiot.
You're covering up the fact that this election is very suspicious.
You can't handle the truth.
No. Do you pretend that Russia tried to meddle in our election and they swayed voters last time?
I know they took measures to influence people through social media.
Did they interfere with our election significantly?
I don't think they got far enough to because ours is not a national system. They couldn't penetrate the voting system, but they can spread misinformation.
Do you know who's worse at spreading? Who's a worse spreader of misinformation? Hello?
I'm waiting.
The mainstream media here in America. They're way worse.
There's a white-wing news media in the bubble that y'all live in.
I'm not in the bubble. You're the one living in the bubble.
White-wing propaganda, y'all QAnon listeners, conspiracy theorists.
QAnon. See, you're just repeating. You're repeating dumb mainstream media stuff. I never even mentioned QAnon. I don't know about it, and I don't care. You're the sucker.
Y'all follow all that nonsense.
You believe in the racism thing.
Every conspiracy theory known to man. This is a male social media.
This is a male so-called Christian Democrat. What a disgrace. I have a caller who might like to talk with you. Paramedic in Florida. You want to talk with him?
I invite those inquiries. Go ahead.
All right. Paramedic in Florida. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are y'all doing?
Fine. How are you?
Fine. How you doing?
Well. Good, Earl. It's good to talk to you. I just had a quick question.
What's your name, Mike?
No, Paramedic.
Oh, Paramedic? Okay.
Yeah.
I just had a quick question for you, Earl. Do you think the election was valid? It was legitimate?
Yeah. Just like the one in 2016 when they declared Trump the winner. It was a precaution. It was what they call it, prediction. I mean, not a forecast. Of course, the votes are not in officially. I mean, the count is not official. But when the numbers, when somebody reaches 270 or above, usually the race is over because numerically you cannot, the opponent cannot.
He just asked you a simple question, Earl. You don't have to get all into it.
Yeah, that was really it. I kind of got my answer already. Yeah, that's sad, Earl.
That is?
But,
does facts matter?
Yeah.
Y'all take care.
I appreciate it, Paramedic. It's good to hear from you, man.
Later.
Take care. You know why it's sad to Paramedic, Earl? And I don't think it should be sad, but it's kind of sad.
Why is it sad, James?
Because you're an old sucker.
No, because you just a lackey for Trump, and you believe anything that him and his cohort say.
You're a lackey for the mainstream media, and you believe anything that they say.
And you believe anything that your white wing bubble says.
No, I don't believe everything from the white wing bubble.
Clowns. And if I can give
I believe Trump because Trump is honest.
And if I can give
and
one
you're dishonest.
advice to Joe in Arizona, is that Joe, you don't have to prove that you are a conservative to James. He's nobody. You don't have to pass a litmus test because he claims he's not a conservative.
Are you a Christian?
Nobody.
Are you a conservative, Earl?
You should ask him if he's a conservative or just a Trump lackey.
Hey, Earl, are you a conservative?
No, I'm not conservative.
So then what do you care about Joe?
Huh?
What do you care about
Joe? I hear him sometimes express because you think you got the right to quiz him on his right to be conservative.
This is America.
And whether he agrees with you or not, you are Jesse or not. Y'all don't know no authority on who's a conservative and who's not.
Oh, yeah, we are. Thank you, Earl. It's good to hear from you.
That's a lie you take, but adios. We'll get into it later. I've been on quite a long. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, too. Take care. What a mess. Speaking of Joe, he is on the line, but first let me get to Rick in Hampton. He wants to talk about the elections. Hopefully the voice of sanity, right? The voice of reason. Rick, how are you doing?
My brother James, love y'all. You have a good weekend?
Yes, sir. How about you?
Well, about pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. I was just hearing things. I was hearing President was saying that God prophesied to me that President Trump was going to be the next president.
Who said that?
You know, a lot of people, when I go on social media, I see a lot of prophets, saying that President Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. And people was asking me the same thing. So I said, look, I don't bat in that league. If I can't verify something with the Bible, I got to wait till it happens. If it come to pass, God spoke to him. If it don't, that was either something he had within himself he put out there, you know what I mean?
A false prophet.
Yeah.
A fake.
There you go.
Yep. I think I think that there are a lot of people saying stuff that they don't know to be true, making predictions and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yep, and I stay away. I stay away from that kind of stuff because I don't know. And with this election, I mean, what do you think going to happen, James? You think President Trump will have enough?
I don't know.
To turn the election around?
I don't know. It's an uphill battle for sure because think about it. These liberal judges, in some cases, they're throwing out stuff. They're throwing out, his lawsuits. They're dismissing them. And even if it went all the way out to the Supreme Court, you know how we supposedly have a conservative, they've been claiming that we have a conservative majority, which is a lie. We don't have a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. We have 2 conservatives on the Supreme Court, 3 rhinos, and then 3 liberals, I think. Right? Is this something like that? I don't know. 3, 6.
Wow.
No, we have, I don't know. We have some liberals. We have 1 or 2 conservatives, and we have rhinos. 4 rhinos. 4 rhinos. That's right.
Wow. I know as you were saying, too, you ain't too crazy about, the last, judge, not Amy Barrett.
Well, there's Amy Barrett, there's Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, John Roberts is probably the worst. I don't know. But actually, maybe Amy Barrett's going to be worse than him.
So you don't think they're conservative, huh?
No, they're not. They're not conservative because they're kiss-ups. They're weak. And even if like their ideals are conservative, they don't have the strength of character to stand on them. Right. Clarence Thomas does, but the other Alito, I think he might. I don't know. He seems to side with he and Thomas seem okay, but the whole rest of them, I don't have any faith in those people. And they'll cave to pressure to be like, oh, it looks like a conflict of interest for me to vote in favor of Trump, right? Or to rule in favor of Trump. So they'll either recuse themselves or they'll vote against him, or, you know, maybe it's wrong for me to speculate like that, but I just don't have any faith in them. Or in the court system. I do like Trump's fight, and he can pull off the impossible. I don't know, though.
Yeah, you know, and I like President Trump, too, and I have to ask God to help me take the stomach of Biden getting sworn in, God. If that's what you permit, help me. You got to help me through that one, man.
But I say just take things as they come. Because people are trying to say, oh, it's over. He won already. Well, it's not over yet. The votes have not been certified. And there are multiple lawsuits. So it's unclear. That's just objective.
I believe
it looks like they're trying to steal it. I don't know. But
I think they are, because I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning watching the election.
Yeah.
Trump was clearly ahead in Wisconsin, Michigan, PA, Carolina, and Georgia.
Yep.
And I go to bed for maybe 3 or 4 hours. I come back, and this mysterious angel blessed Joe Biden with over 100-something thousand votes. Where did they come from? Y'all was done counting. That's what I'm trying to ask.
And, you know, honestly, like, I looked at this, you know what? There were people on Twitter saying, what are all these voters who were born in 1800, 1900, 1899, and 1915 voting in these Pennsylvania and different places, Wayne County? And then I see these fact checks. I saw this CNN article, for example. The CNN article tried to test something, and they said, oh, we're debunking that. It's false. Or actually, they don't even outright say that it's false. They say, we didn't find any. We didn't find any dead people voting. And some of the officials say, oh, we have measures to protect against dead people voting. But they didn't say that it's false. Some of them say it's a conspiracy theory. I don't know. Would you really put it past Democrats whose motto, communists whose motto is by any means necessary, BAMN.
Yeah.
Bam. They, by any means necessary, means you cheat, especially if you think Trump is Hitler.
Yeah, because you know when Biden said, all votes will be counted, and he wasn't joking either. That means illegals, dead people, dogs, monuments.
Yeah, I remember hearing a report from a reporter, Vincent James, who's a conservative activist. But he said that somebody's cat got a ballot. So you really think that this thing is very safeguarded against fraud? I don't know.
I don't think it is, but they said possibly Biden used software to add with it's a software from Dominion Voting Services or something where software is from, I believe.
I don't know.
He was using that.
Anything is possible, you know, and I'm not into speculation, but I do have suspicions for sure.
You do.
Yeah.
Because it's just so amazing how Biden just got these votes and I hate to say this, the liberals are using the blacks again. Every city from Wisconsin, what blacks live at.
I know.
Michigan, Detroit, Well, the jam was logged up there. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, blacks there. Then you go to North Carolina, Charlotte. Blacks stay there a lot. And Georgia is Atlanta. All of them was black areas that held up the vote. So if it's proven that
and they don't mind lying and they don't mind cheating.
Yeah.
They scam to get welfare.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and look, and they use the blacks again for destruction.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point.
And I'm like, man, I hope President Trump can have enough to force at least. Do you think, like let's say if they find Michigan to be fully corrupt, voter fraud is so blunt. That's voter fraud.
The thing is, it seems like it's hard to prove voter fraud because the point of fraud is to get away with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And see, that's another thing. We ain't heard Trump been real quiet. And when people quiet, that means he may have a smoking gun somewhere.
I don't know. We'll find out, though. We'll find out.
We'll find out, man.
See how it goes.
How long do you think it'll be before we find out?
Don't know, but I'll just enjoy it while it lasts because Trump is president and they're not. And he doesn't mind being president. You know what I mean?
That's right. And I tell you, man.
There's this push right now to declassify everything, meaning like MLK's, the FBI files on MLK. Was he a communist or was he not? And Robert F. Kennedy, right? Whatever that guy's name is. Declassify the files on him. Declassify the files on everything. There's this push for him to declassify, including from his son, I think, Don Jr. So, I don't know. Interesting. But we'll see what happens. I'm so happy, though. It's so refreshing to have a Republican who is standing up for himself. Finally, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, what are other Republicans at? Where's the GOP at?
Rhinos. They're just paying lip service. And by the way, Joe Biden and Alexandria Cortez is being a drama queen right now. And they hate conservatives. They just outright, they hate white people. They hate Christians. Yeah. And they hate conservatives. They're pretending like, oh, I'm going to be a president for all Americans, except for the ones that he called Nazis. He doesn't support America. He's going to take away the guns. He is for forcing everybody to wear masks. He's an evil person. And by the way, he is a coward. He supports abortion, supports white genocide, stamping out the whites, making whites a minority in this country. And he says that's a good thing. Never mind that the whites are the most Christian people. So,
and you know what? And that goes the same for these black pastors.
Right.
They're going around talking about Joe Biden. Oh, he is Moses for blacks. And my thing is,
people are saying
Biden,
that?
He's for same. Yeah, they acting like they might as well say it, James.
Yeah.
They're like, Biden is here. Now we're here. Now we can heal and get rid of all the division.
Right.
The media calls it division, not Trump. And then the anger where folks have in their hearts anyway. That's where the division comes in.
Yep. If you see a Christian,
Trump is doing it.
If you see a Christian who supports Black Lives Matter or supports Democrats, you know they're fake. And that's Joe Biden.
Exactly.
Yep.
And most these black pastors.
Right.
They all, especially the black Baptist churches, they allow the Democrats coming in and campaign.
I know. It's ridiculous.
And I'm like,
and some of them are some of them are running for Democrat. Isn't there this Reverend Raphael Warnock or something like that over in I think Georgia somewhere? That guy's pretending like, oh, he has God on his side and he's a Democrat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Cobbie.
I went to a church and they allowed the guy. We gotta get this Trump out of office.
Right.
And they support a party that supports abortion, same-sex marriage, transgenders, abortion, beyond yang, and then then you hear a lot of people like say, well, you just can't vote on one candidate for one issue. I say, well, abortion is enough for me and family.
Right.
If I vote on biblical issues. If I see somebody for abortion, I'm like, look, I don't need the government for everything else in my life. I just need to help support life.
Yeah.
Everything else, if you follow God's commands, He'll take care of it. Even the Bible teaches you how to manage your money.
Yeah, and honestly,
apply it.
not one issue are they standing for what's right on. They make a business of smearing whites and cops, which puts blacks at risk, by the way, and puts everybody at risk. And so everything that they stand for is wrong, including minimum wage.
Man, you're right.
Anyway,
you know
Rick.
what? Yeah, okay, I can really be up, man. Thank you for allowing me the time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I love you, James. Keep up the good work, brother. We got to pull for Trump, man. See what he pull out of this, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Take care.
Yep.
Let me get to Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. He wants to talk about the elections and the fake stats. Joe, turn off your... Oh, he's not ready. Wow. Why is Joe listening to the show when you're on hold, you have the show with no delay? What the heck? That's not like Joe to be like that. Shameful. It's fixed. Let me just double check this. Was Earl a poll worker? Asks Ludwig von Neon. Very good question. Was his type seemed to be a poll? Actually, honestly, I think the poll workers are people maybe even worse than him. Because would cheat? I don't know. Like whites are so naive, and we're like, oh, nobody's gonna cheat. And then, they just shamelessly cheat like crazy. Think about it. We have, and then I'll get back to Joe. Think about it. We have welfare fraud, wire fraud. How are we not going to have voter fraud? We have identity fraud. We have all kinds of fraud in this country. We have illegals getting fake Social Security numbers and filling out their I-9s so that they can work, quote unquote, legally. An I-9 is basically this application that if you have it and you're working in California, that means you're legal. Well, because that protects your employer from getting Customs and Border Protection against him, or ICE or whatever. Because ICE is doing these stings against employers who are employing illegals. Well, where I worked, which was with a bunch of illegals, they all had their I-9s. And yet somehow they didn't have their driver licenses, and they didn't want to go do jobs down in San Diego. Except for two of them who were citizens. So, interesting, huh? Suspicious. And yet we're supposed to believe that there's no voter fraud, or it's not a massive problem. It's not a significant problem. But Russia was. Phony, huh? Let me get to Joe in Phoenix. Joe, how are you doing?
Sorry about that, James. I had a bit of a problem with my dog there, but I'm back now.
I'm glad you're back. Normally you don't do that, otherwise I would yell at you more.
Yeah. I'm sure you can hear him in the background. Still barking there. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So I talked to Jesse earlier. I asked him the question to see if he can answer it. Let's say that there is no fraud proven in the election there. Some Republicans are calling for the electors on December 8th to nullify the votes and vote for Trump anyway. Do you agree with that?
That would be fine, because you know why? That would be
fine, really?
Yeah, that would be the some people vote their conscience, Some of these electors vote their conscience. There was a huge push to make them vote for Hillary last time. So why shouldn't the people who are for what's right push them to vote for what's right?
But Hillary didn't get voted for last time.
Right. Thank God, huh?
The votes have
Good prevailed. Good prevailed.
That's the cornerstone of our democracy, yes?
No, it's not a democracy.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but so is honesty and morals. And that's not what we have with the Democrats.
You're fine with throwing away 150 million votes, huh?
That's not what we have with the Democrats.
Oh, brother,
honesty? Are you really going to pretend that the Democrats
you can never,
are honest?
Call me a communist or a snake ever again. if you're fine with throwing away all of each person's individual rights to vote, James.
You're grandstanding on a fake moral platform because are you really going to pretend? Hold on.
Fine with the electors.
This is a black conservative, by the way. This is a black conservative. You really going to pretend, Joe? You really going to pretend that the Democrats are honest?
And Earl, you're right. James and Jesse are not the arbiters of if he's conservative or not. We agree on that.
I'm glad that you and the black liberal Earl are getting along.
I know you see two black guys keep getting along, James, but it's bound to happen.
But honestly, that's black on black crime because you guys are supporting each other in being wrong.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, it's black on black crime.
Yeah. Speaking of which, again, you were lying last week when you were talking about the black crime stats again and saying it's black people being more likely when you know it's a tiny percentage of black criminals, James. Why do you continue to lie about that?
But
Why?
they're more likely.
Give me an answer on that.
They're more likely. Do you know what likely means?
Yes. The black criminals who do that, the tiny percentage of not black people, the tiny percentage of black criminals are more likely, yes. We agree on that. The stats show that.
Black criminals are people. Criminals are people too.
0.15%. And that's not what you say. You say black people.
And what's the difference between a criminal and a person? They're both people.
Their audience.
It's not deceiving the audience. I'm saying something that's accurate.
0.015% of black people, James, not black people. 0.015%.
I don't. And honestly, he gets hung up on something that I say, and I don't even know what I said, and he can't quote it back to me exactly, and so I have no. So it's basically like I'm defending something based on I generally tell the truth. So I generally tell the truth.
I can't believe you're fine with throwing away American votes. That's disgraceful, Jamie. It really is.
Well, honestly, there's a whole lot of un-American people in this country. And nobody who votes for a Democrat is voting for America. They're voting against America. And you pretend to be a black conservative, but I think you're just black. I think you're just black. You're black intellectual.
You don't. I do. You don't.
Huh? Oh, you have that track record. Yeah. That's nice.
Track record. You don't. I do.
That's nice.
I've helped raise millions of dollars for conservative PACs. You have not.
That doesn't mean anything. What has it done for the country?
Those are the bona fides. You get on the internet and lie.
I know, but you're just sitting there pretending that the Democrats are not against America. They are.
That's your opinion, James.
It's a fact. Jack?
No.
I'm not calling you Jack, but...
And demonizing one side or another doesn't help move the country forward with anything.
But if they are demons, then you call a demon a demon.
James, it's not how the country works. You still have to
yes,
work
it is.
With the other side.
This is America. It's a free country.
Who's in the White House? You still have to work with the other side.
I say what I want to say, and they don't hold back when they fight, so neither should we. We should stand on what's right, and what's right...
Extreme rhetoric does not help anything, James.
What are you talking... What's extreme?
You just call Democrats demons. That's
demon
extreme.
rats. I call them demon rats.
Oh, brother.
But it's true.
Right, so
dude.
Try to be more fair about the crime stat. And
Democrats
have to count.
Kill babies.
All right?
Democrats pretend that homosexuality is normal. Democrats want Joe Biden
during Trump's administration. Yes, or what?
Hold on. Joe Biden wants an 8-year-old transgender kid to go on pretending that he's transgender and get his whatever, his treatment, his hormone therapy or whatever.
But that is sick. Yeah.
Yeah. The demon rats. And then they smear whites, they smear cops, they ignore what black wrongdoing, and they ignore black lies and black all constantly crying of racism.
All that.
Yeah. And so they're demon rats. And they're not for America. These people are for the destruction of America, including their own people.
Like I told Jesse, name
That's
calling
not extreme.
and insult does not solve or fix anything, Jake.
I know,
No
but
one's
it's a
gonna listen
tool.
to
It's a
you.
useful tool to point out the truth. It's name calling for Christ.
Useful how? Because if your goal is to actually change things and have people listen and come over to the right side.
Jesus called people brood of vipers and serpents and hypocrites. I didn't say I was, but he name called, and then Joseph, the fictional character Joseph over there from Phoenicia, said, "Now Jesus, you shouldn't name call. That's not going to help save the world." You know what I mean?
Well,
you're getting my point?
I have to say, James. You have a good day. We'll talk again.
All right. Don't be criticizing the real Christians just because you're a fake one. He hung up. Yeah, sometimes you have to shock people to wake them up. I mean, it's called talking normal. It's called the way that President Trump talks. It's talking normal. By the way, I love how the president speaks. People are like, oh, I don't like his personality. Give me a break. Those are fake people. I'm going to get back to more of your calls. I have a reminder about George W. Bush. This is several months old, but he completely kissed up to the fake news with regard to this George Floyd thing. It's not a surprise. Oh, I have that Suffa thumbnail. I just dragged it into the main folder for today's show. JLP portrait, Suffa, how computers smell. And cover more stuff. Lines are full. I will be getting to you. Hang tight, guys. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Be right back for the rest of hour 2. The great Based America First, Based AF, donated a Streamlabs super chat, streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. And he wants to tout an interesting website, waterwithvincent.com, waterwithvincent.com. Check it out. I'm kind of interested. And it's better than tap water, probably. Waterwithvincent.com. And I'm looking at the site. It looks kind of interesting. Check it out, guys. It looks like Based America First is buying that for me. Thanks, man. That's cool. I just might. That's awesome. Appreciate that, man. So, Robot Moose with the diamond. Thank you for the support. Yeah. And I'll actually be prepared, right? Be prepared. Have some water, have some dry food, have some good for you food, and blankets. And avoid getting into a situation in which you need to use a weapon, because the laws are against people who defend themselves. Just look at Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's in Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Who knew that Kenosha, Wisconsin was off the deep end liberal with a lynch mob that would attack an innocent young man and smear him? And to this day, I think he's in jail. Is he in jail to this day?
To this day?
What? For no reason.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
Yeah. Kyle, John Wick, Jack Bauer, Rittenhouse. What a shame. And can't get no justice. And you really think that we had honest elections when you have a corrupt court system that allows an obviously innocent young man to be charged with, these homicide charges, right? Very unjust. Very unjust. Even back with, in 2012 with George Zimmerman, he shouldn't have faced any charges. They tried to charge him with murder. They literally tried to charge him with murder. And I don't know if they knew ahead of time. I think I have to, knowing ahead of time, he was going to get off because it's a simple case of self-defense. It's a simple case of self-defense. And in fact, there were witnesses who believed they saw Trayvon Martin grounding and pounding on George Zimmerman. And George Zimmerman was screaming for help. And they're pretending to this day, they're pretending that Trayvon Martin was murdered.
To this day.
And there's black female wannabe politicians who are running for office. Oh no, they got in office. Cori Bush, Cori Bush. Is she part of the Bush family? Might as well be. She said that Mike Brown was murdered. That's somebody in office now. Or she's not in office, right? But she won her election. That's a disgrace. So, yes, it's crazy. Let me quickly get to Louie in Idaho wants to talk about the Democrats saying that they set this up a long time ago. Louie, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey.
So what I'm saying, let me get off speaker, okay?
All right.
Yeah, anyway, so what I'm saying is the Democrats have said that Trump is going to fight this. He's not going to leave office because they know that he knows that they cheated.
Yeah.
You follow?
Yeah. I like how he's fighting.
Trump is not a loser. He's not going to lose.
That's right. I don't know what's going to happen, but he's not a loser. That's for sure. He's not a quitter. He's not a choker. And he's not a loser. So.
I don't want to mention it again, but they're telling you to your face. I mean, Nancy Pelosi with the 25th Amendment, remember that?
Right.
That's more for Joe. That's more for Joe, and then just planting the seed in the American mind.
Well, to be honest, it's for either one, because she doesn't want either. She doesn't like men.
Yeah, Yeah, all right. Yo.
Yeah, she would try to take out Trump too.
Yo.
Yeah, she's a hater. Another phony. Isn't she supposed to be Catholic too?
Catholic, 80 years old, millionaire. Billionaire is multi-million. She's a billionaire, okay?
Really? No, she's not a billionaire.
Billionaire is defined, I think multi-million is defined as billion.
No, billion is 1,000 million.
All right.
Multi-millionaire, okay.
Multi-millionaire, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to argue, all right?
For about, okay, according to Fox Business, July 17th, 2020, at a minimum, Pelosi has $34 million in assets and $20 million in liabilities for a net worth of about $34 million.
Okay, that's pretty much multi-million to me.
That is a multi-millionaire for sure. Yeah. But that's...
So, public servant, 80 years old.
So-called servant,
old.
yeah.
Retired already, my God.
Right, served herself.
How much is enough? Rockefeller said, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, you know?
Is that what Rockefeller said? That's funny.
That's what he said. I think it was him. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an evil person.
Yeah, she is.
Sick-minded. Nervous Nancy. What a disgrace.
What's going to happen, Hake? What's going to happen?
Well, it remains to be seen. I say we just wait. We wait it out and fight it out. There is a rally coming up in Washington, D.C. this Saturday, okay, guys? And, you know, we've been giving advice to stay away from these rallies because people are rioting. But if you can size up, see what you think, like look into it. Not you necessarily, but listeners, people in the D.C. area, people who might be thinking of flying out there or driving out there. Size it up, see if it's something that you want to be part of. But it was announced on Revolver News, and it's up on Twitter. I retweeted it. This Million MAGA March for President Trump. And it would be nice to see a showing of support for Trump, as we have already seen. We saw it in Arizona, and I've heard that other places have rallied against these stop the steal and all kinds of stuff going on in support of President Trump, who's the rightful winner. Let's be honest, you know? If the elections were honest,
hey, honesty is a brother of secrecy.
What's that?
Honesty is a brother of secrecy.
Interesting. Where'd you hear that?
That's something I wrote a long time ago.
Okay. That's cool. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Trump 2020.
I'm not one to...
Trump 2020. You know what? I'm going to let you go. You got other goals. Take it easy, man.
All right. You too. Take care. Let me get to... I got to get to Art in Ohio. He wants to go off on these blacks who voted for Biden. Art, how are you doing?
Man, what's up with you, Hake?
Not much. How about you?
Man, I'm all right, man. What's up with my force specialist, man? And I want to tell Jesse that I love him, God bless him or whatnot. And,
thumbs up?
I'm with him or what? Huh?
You're getting thumbs up and black power from Joel Friday here?
Already, yeah, man.
Well,
yeah, man.
He's giving a fist. It doesn't mean black power.
Well, I know what you mean. All right,
Yeah.
hey, man, I'm alpha, so all right, get it. I'm all right.
Nice.
I know it ain't no Black Lives Matter fist.
Right.
So long story short, first of all, that pastor, I don't know if that was on your show or Jesse's show where he was crying, no, it wasn't a pastor. It was the black dude was with
Van
the map on there
Jones.
saying,
Van Jones.
Man, okay, my problem with him or whatnot
Former
is
communist, I believe.
Oh yeah, he's
To this
definitely
day.
socialist,
Let's be
communist. Why every time they pander to black people with that, they want to rip the Mexicans and break the homes up
Right.
and send people back to their country. Well, first of all, to Negroes like him, dumb sellout Negroes like him, first of all, what was going on over in Mexico over the 50 years, 60, 70 years ago while Mexico let their own country go into the shithole?
Yeah.
While Somalia let their own country go into the shithole?
Whoa.
So first, before Into, you know what I mean?
Yes. I know what you mean.
Into the toilet, let's say it like that.
Right.
You know, they Somali and go into the toilet. So for people like him to be trying to pander and get everybody over here as the American citizens, like whites, American, Native American Indians, and Negro Americans, to feel sorry for them, they made their bed in Somalia. They need to lay in. It ain't called you make your bed, then you go lay in my bed.
Right. You know, these people try to blame America for America's meddling in those countries. And I'm fine with blaming America a little bit for that, but okay, let's get out of those countries then. And they stay there and fix their own problems. You don't spread the problems here. And that's what they're doing. Yeah, that's Van Jones. He's a former Obama, Department of Transportation. He was in the Obama administration. And I think that he was a communist before. And honestly, he still is one. He still is one.
Man, he's sad. They expose themselves every time.
Yeah.
When you see them talk or whatnot, I feel bad for them because it's like, dude, everybody's going to try to take advantage of you. You might think you intellectually smart, but people know where you stand at. If you think how you think, you clearly an idiot. Go ahead, I'm listening. You
know, this Van Jones guy, I know a little bit about him because I've seen him over the years. He has been on CNN forever, right? And before Don Lemon, you know, the gay black one, Don Lemon?
Oh, the sweet one. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yes. And before he went way off the deep end, Trump derangement syndrome, he tried to be fair, right? He would say, these riots are bad. And Van Jones scolded him for saying the riots are bad, the Black Lives Matter riots from 2014, 2015. He scolded him. Yeah. And he admitted that the Russia thing, I think, was a nothing burger. And then what else? There was one other thing.
Russia thing was a nothing burger.
The Russia thing, Russian collusion.
Oh, you talking about with the collusion? Well, my thing is this, ain't that kind of crazy? That's how Democrats are. They hypocritical. Right. Y'all the one who started the collusion talk. Yep. Now you want to be coming back with your sweet self talking about, that was a nothing burger. Right. Man, get up out of here. I bet he's on fire. I bet he's on fire for the Lord, as the liberal fake Christians would say.
I don't know. That's a good question. If you're a communist, you basically have to be an atheist. Yeah. But anyway, this guy,
I'm on fire. Go ahead, I'm listening.
He sat in an office with Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and they talked about racism. And basically, Newt Gingrich is white, so-called Republican, kind of a rhino. Sometimes he tells the truth because he's old school, but he's a neocon. He admits to being a neocon, meaning a globalist, socialist type of a guy. In total kiss up for the racism thing, basically cowering and pandering and kissing up to Van Jones because they're supposed to be friends. So they had this conversation about race.
Who you say he was talking to? A white guy.
A white guy.
Van what?
Van Jones is the black dude, right? Van Jones is the black dude who pretended to cry about, now we can breathe again.
Well, my problem is, hey, how can Van Jones be talking to somebody white about anything with racism when he just was born last night? Van Jones, you don't know your mouth from your butt. So,
yeah, it's true.
And then, all right, let's get off him real quick. This is something else that I'm having a problem with these conservative, allegedly I call them rhino Republicans. Yeah. They had the mindset that, America's the land of the free and the opportunity. Sir, the land of the opportunity is for Americans, right? Not for aliens and everybody from out in Mars and everybody from Somalia, everybody who wants to pull up a good old seat to America. No, that wasn't what the American dream was for. So y'all need to cut all that talk out, man. And America wasn't made for everybody. It was made for the American people that was already over here, and that is being over here.
Yes.
And then. Second of all, quit every time y'all talking about Negroes. Quit including Negroes and with Latinos.
Right.
Me and Latino and Negroes have had a different fight. I'm not no Latino, and America ain't Mexican. Every time y'all talk about Negroes, stop talking about Africans and Somalis and all these other colors. Man, if y'all want to talk about colored people, you need to be talking about Negroes and the true American Negroes and the black people of this land. Not everybody and their mama who don't have no spoon or fork or any say about this land over here, man. I'm getting tired of it, man.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And God bless
They're just pandering.
God bless you. That's all.
It's basically everything just to hate whites. That's all it is.
Well,
just gang up everybody to hate whites.
Well, it's not only hating whites, but they hating themselves. They ain't doing nothing but creating self-hate. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and this is directed to the white people, so I don't be so hard on my black people. I'm gonna spread the blame. My thing is with the white people is that it's so obvious that the way America is headed, it's going to the toilet.
Right.
And I feel like the white people are so what's the word that I'm looking for? So kid, like immature. I think they already know they can't reverse this. Basically, getting all these people that's over here in this land out of here.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna cause a great unrest in America. But if you leave them over here, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah.
So it's you damned if you do and you damned if you don't.
Very
America
true.
and these whites don't. Yes, it is. You don't signed up. You don't got all these people over here, and they just willing and ready and waiting to cut the turn on you. And you can't come to me and try to get me to say it because I'm only one person.
Yeah, it's a good point,
God bless you.
Art. I appreciate you, man. Take care.
God bless you. Yes,
you
sir.
too. He's right, but we can overcome the impossible, right? We'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, Biden's the one who said they're going to put y'all back in chains. And they cheered. He said that in a black church. Chris says, if only. I mean, we do have an under-incarceration problem, and we need to put the criminals, the prisoners, on the chain gang so that they work and provide value rather than costing millions of dollars. And cut out the ridiculous appellate court system that allows people who are obviously guilty, obviously deserve the death penalty or whatever, to endlessly appeal and cost millions of dollars. What a shame. Man, there was this, before I get back to calls, let me just briefly tell you about Jackie Lacey and George Gascón. Jackie Lacey was the DA, or is, I guess, until whenever the change of hands takes place, right? Of the Los Angeles County District Attorney, DA. That means that she's the main one, and there's a whole bunch of little people under her who prosecute crimes in LA County. Well, she was a black female. She was pretty liberal, right? But she was not that liberal. This George Gascón toppled her. And I've talked about this probably several times now. George Gascón supposedly used to be a Republican. I have these pictures of this from the Pasadena Independent. Just a headline, contentious Los Angeles County District Attorney race heats up. Well, this is before the thing ended. But you see the picture of George Gascón, a Cuban guy, former Republican. And I think he's only former Republican because he was Cuban at one point, or Cuban. But this guy is a SJW guy. And SJWs are ruling in California. In March of 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order imposing a halt on the death penalty in California. Sick, huh? He said, the intentional killing of another person is wrong, and as governor, I will not oversee the execution of any individual. But he's for abortion. That's a person. Our death penalty system has been a failure. It has discriminated against defendants who are mentally ill, black and brown, or can't afford expensive legal representation. It provided no public safety benefit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Or he's knowingly lying, actually. And wasted billions of taxpayer dollars. The billions that are wasted are in the appellate court systems and all that stuff. According to a report from the far-left anti-American ACLU, this is from this article, prosecutors from Jackie Lacey's office have continued to seek the death penalty despite that order. Nice. Thank God, right? As a career prosecutor, I believe the death penalty is the appropriate punishment for some crimes. Serial killer tortures or kills a young child, or somebody who rapes and then kills the victim to silence his only witness. That's what Jackie Lacey said in June. Out of numerous cases during her tenure as DA, Lacey has only filed criminal charges against law enforcement officers in 2 cases. That sounds reasonable because most of the time it's reasonable force. You know, when cops go up against criminals and then they have to pull their gun, most of the time it's reasonable. Lacey's campaign for re-election took a tailspin when her husband, and I played this on the show, her husband, David Lacey, which is a shame, like he should be the one who's DA, pulled a gun on Black Lives Matter protesters who showed up on her porch. It's disgusting. Imagine BLM shows up on your porch. That's nasty. And especially that Marina Abdullah woman from Cal State LA who prays to these people, dead people. Say his name, say her name. And Lacey apologized. So that's when she lost. She apologized for her husband's actions, pointing a gun, saying, "Get off my porch." What a shame. Oh, by the way, the California Attorney General Javier Becerra, or Xavier Becerra, with an X, right? Javier Becerra charged David Lacey with 3 misdemeanor counts of assault with a firearm. So Black Lives Matter shows up threatening them on their porch, because that's a threat. And he tries to defend his property and says, "Get off my porch." And he gets charged. That's fake justice in California, right? BLM endorsed this other guy. That fat black lesbian, Patrice Cullors, who ran from the Jesse Lee Peterson show. She hung up and she said, "Oh, I didn't hang up. My phone disconnected." And then later she said, "Don't go on that show. It's violent and demeaning." That was Patrice Cullors. She endorsed this guy. And that should be a red flag to all Los Angeles County residents not to support this guy. But too many are brainwashed. There has been a huge campaign on the part of the mainstream media to make Black Lives Matter seem valid, and it's not. They don't have a valid complaint. They don't have one single valid complaint. They just hate cops, they hate whites, and they're the worst thing for blacks. Lacey was elected in 2012 as the first African-American woman. I guess it was the beginning of the end, right? To run this office as DA. And this guy worked in LAPD, and he's evolved. Gascón was appointed by Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, right? Well, he used to be, I think, the mayor of San Francisco. He made him police chief in 2009 and DA in 2011. Connie Rice is civil rights attorney and co-founder of the LAPD's Community Safety Partnership Program. You know that's evil. Anybody who's a so-called civil rights attorney, a female, says Gascón was one of the few inside mavericks who used his position to challenge the culture rather than perpetuate it. How about let's challenge black culture rather than perpetuate the degeneration of it? But no, cowards. Cowards. You can talk all the trash you want about white cops. They're not going to do anything to you. But you tell the truth about blacks, they'll kill you. Jackie Lacey and Gascón met in a debate co-sponsored by KPCC, the LAist, and LA Times, and they argued as dumb. Recently in LA, Mayor Eric Garcetti withdrew his endorsement of Lacey. Coward. Eric Garcetti, coward. And he said, and he's now supporting Gascón. Well, he supported Gascón. Adam Schiff and Ted Lieu rescinded their endorsements of Jackie Lacey. Cowards. Those are our Congress males. They're not men. He was endorsed by Patrice Cullors, as I said, endorsed by Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Gavin Newsom. Sick, huh? And also, Okay, so she had the support of Dianne Feinstein. That's gross. That's that old dead dinosaur. And also San Francisco Mayor London Breed, the black female mayor of San Francisco. She was endorsed by her. I don't know why these people are even involved in the LA County situation, but they are. Gascón got George Soros. You guys said Drudge got George Soros? I don't know. If he did, let me know. But George Soros gave $1.5 million to this guy, Gascón. And so-called philanthropist, that means evil person, Patty Quillen, gave $1.25 million to this guy, Gascón. And her husband, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings, donated $500,000, $500,000. And most of Jackie Lacey's money came from police unions and other public safety groups. So which one is the right one? The one who lost, Jackie Lacey. Crazy. I actually voted for Jackie Lacey, even though she's a black female liberal having been endorsed by all those Democrats, because this guy is just pure evil. So, again, don't get all tough with your guns and think that you're going to get away with defending yourself when attacked. Who's that? Reed. Oh, that's Reed Hastings, the Netflix CEO. He gave $500,000 for the destruction of LA County. And his wife gave $1.25 million. And George Soros gave $1.5 million or something like that. Nasty, huh? I just had to share that with you. It's not the death penalty itself. Justice should be swift. And it's a corrupt court system. There's Jackie. What did I say she was? But that's Jackie Lacey. I mean, she doesn't look that tough. We need some sanity back. But we went from bad to worse, if you can imagine it. Let me get to Andrew, a first-time caller in Texas. He wants to talk about this election fraud, ballot counting and stuff. Andrew, how are you doing?
Hey, James. Good to hear from you. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Doing all right. I wanted to discuss the possible fraud, or I think it's pretty evident. And I don't know if you remember in 2012, but Congressman Ron Paul and Mitt Romney were really close in the polls. And whenever the primaries were held, there were some really weird coincidences going on. I think there were 4 separate counties in Maine that had 0 votes, for example. And I don't know. I've got to say, I think that there might have been some meddling even back then.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. We've been a corrupt country for a long time.
Yeah, and they, I think it was the DOD head at the time, I can't remember, but he was discussing about Belarus, the corruption of voting in Belarus.
Yeah.
And if you read that now, it almost sounds like he's describing the 2020 U.S. election.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. He says one of the examples of corruption is suppressing political thought online. He said
wow. That's literally what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. It's so destructive. Like, Twitter is putting notes under practically every one of Trump's tweets. But meanwhile, they let Black Lives Matter speculate and lie and smear cops and tear apart cities, all in the name of lies. It's crazy.
And the Russian collusion hoax. And
right.
Really, that's what it is. It's a hoax.
Yep.
This was, if the claim is that they're not going to allow conspiracy theorists, why is it that not just on social media, but on every mainstream news outlet was this a headliner for years?
Yep.
Years. And typical fashion, whenever the CIA document was declassified, and there's literally handwriting of Gina Haspel and others saying, we are going to concoct a ploy to distract the public from Hillary's emails. That it's in writing.
Wow.
And there's no retraction on the part of the news. They want you to forget.
That is wild. I remember she was the first. Hillary Clinton was the first person I heard this Russia thing from in one of the debates when she said, "Oh, 17." I think she said that 17 such and such decided that, and I'm sure it was in the mainstream media too, but I wasn't following the mainstream media like that. But that's interesting.
Yeah, the Russia. I mean, and I think Alex Jones says it best, but half of the country of Russia don't even have functioning like street lights. So to say that they have the power to manipulate like first world countries like America, I think it's ridiculous. And I think honestly people are finally waking up to it. I mean, the fact that they tried to use the same tactic on Hunter Biden's emails when there's video proof of Hunter Biden being involved, it was like laughable.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's plainly obvious that our mainstream media is the enemy, they're liberals. They're just a bunch of lying liberals who are an enemy of America.
Yep.
And that's way more destructive than anything these so-called foreign countries can do to us, is what the mainstream media is doing. Very deceptive. You can bet that had Trump won, they wouldn't be saying voter fraud because they never want to admit that there is voter fraud, because voter fraud always goes towards Democrats, because except in rare cases, individual cases, but on the whole, voter fraud is a Democrat tactic, because Democrats don't mind cheating and lying. I mean, they support illegal aliens. They support the people who abuse the welfare system. They support all kinds of stuff like that. But they would be saying voter suppression. Oh, Biden lost because of voter suppression. They were already crying that, and they would also say Russia too. So they would have their conspiracy theories, and they did say possible collusion, Trump, Russia, possible collusion. Well, we're saying likely voter fraud. Yep.
Exactly. And for a country that proclaims to be free,
right?
Why is it that if you look at the rankings of internet freedom in the country from independent investigators, America doesn't even rank in the top 10.
Wow.
Where we rank very low. And, I think people like Edward Snowden trying to show that not only is the media biased, I think that's honestly getting them off scot-free here.
Right.
This is a
corrupt,
concerted effort on the part of the media to manipulate public opinion. And there's, again, declassified CIA documents. Project Mockingbird is an example, where the CIA is instructing news anchors on their mouthpieces what they need to say, or earpieces, I should say, and telling them exactly what narrative they want to say. That doesn't sound like, journalism or independent media to me. That sounds like a mouthpiece for the government. So, all right. That's all I wanted to say, James.
I appreciate it, Andrew. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, you as well. Bye.
Take care. That's wild. Kelly says, cancel Fox News. Yeah, I feel that they've betrayed their own employees in some cases, and their own viewers, and America. They've kissed up in order to be liked. Weak. Samuel is another first-time caller out of Texas, Fort Worth. Samuel, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be on your show. It's really an honor.
Nice. Right on.
I've never done this before, so I'm a little nervous, but let's do this thing. All right. So I just want your thoughts on some of this. So I was watching the election all night, and I went from, so many emotions because I saw the betting odds start to change. I was all in, and I was happy. And then, I had a big crash when everything went south. But, Yeah, but honestly, I feel a lot better now. And I feel like all the people calling and gloating about Biden winning, it's like, it's your loss. I mean,
right.
You're the one getting played, so it is what it is. And, I mean, if you want to talk about voter fraud or whatever, I hope they find it, and I hope, Trump does get elected.
Yeah.
But in the end, the media was always, stacking the deck against him the whole time, which everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And there's 4 years of Trump, it's been like total abuse, like every day just slapping down everything he ever says. And I think Trump, he wasn't like an old school Republican. They could have, all he wants is people to just appreciate him. He would have had concessions with them. He would have worked with them, but
I know
they weren't interested. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
Yeah, that's really about all.
We can still win. We can still win whatever happens in the country at large. We still have to keep on fighting for what's right.
Yeah.
And don't sweat the outer results. Trump is fighting. He does well under pressure. And he has a couple of months left. Plus. So, and we'll see what happens with this result. We'll see what happens. Right. Yeah. Right. How come you stayed up all night watching that?
Me?
Yeah.
Was that a bad move?
It's a lot of people are really into it, but why did you do it?
Because I guess I had hope, and I was just, I really like Trump. I think he's not a politician, and I think he's woken up,
Yeah.
He's like a rock star. It was just, I had all my faith in him. I had like 10 tabs open, like, just like going back and forth trying to see what's going on. So
wow.
I've been invested. Yeah. And I've been on the computer the last few days just looking at every conspiracy theory, just trying to see what's going to happen and all that. But
maybe it is a bad move. Maybe it is a bad move because you don't need to get that personally invested in it. You can because you have no control over it. It's just you're excited and emotional and all over, like I said, emotionally invested in it. Where for example, Jesse Lee Peterson said, have a little space between you and everybody, including Trump, so that you can just watch and learn.
Right.
Yeah. That way, and even now, like that way you don't have to be worried. Yeah. It is their loss, but it's gonna be suffering if Joe Biden wins.
Yeah.
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 So it's not going to be good for anybody.
The last point I had is just, it's sad, but maybe people were complacent with Trump, and maybe people were tired of just the barrage of Trump every day, and they just want things to go back to quote normal or whatever. But
well, are you thinking that are you thinking that Joe Biden won already?
No. I'm not trying to be a downer. No, but all I'm saying is if.
Look at that guy, poser. We're looking at a picture of Joe Biden right now.
Oh.
Such a phony.
Yeah.
He can't even play president convincingly. He is old. He is white. Yeah. He does look like a male.
Everything
until
he
talks. What's that?
I said everything they hate. As long as he's not Trump, it's all good.
Yeah. He's total traitor to everything decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Samuel, keep your head up. And you are right. It is their loss if they win, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't won yet. And I think that what your mistake was, you got too into it. You got overexcited. It became too important to you. You don't have
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. I just want to say maybe it's going to take a little bit more, of a reality for some more conservative people to actually go to the polls and show up next time. I mean, if, right? But,
yeah.
If Biden starts taking guns away or talking about it, I just hope people wake up and,
I think that's our job.
I think the movement's changing.
I think it's our job to keep on telling the truth and and setting an example, because President Trump has helped awaken a lot of people by sparking a nasty reaction. Bless you. Sparking a nasty reaction against him, and that wakes people up because they're like, wow, what is all this evil against Trump, who's just like a decent guy? And he's just he's just basically standing on what he sees is right. And he may not see everything right, but he's fighting for what he thinks is right. And he hasn't stopped. So that's cool. That's inspiring too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Samuel, it's good to hear from you. We'll talk again.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Okay. Oh, man. Let me just show you quickly. This guy, mega church pastor Carl Lentz, has been fired. But I don't really have high hopes for the future of his church, HillsongNYC. Hillsong is like this huge globalist church, right? So-called church. It started in Australia. And he's phony. I'm not going to play any clips of him, but in September of 2016, he made a bunch of headlines because he supported Black Lives Matter. He said, we're not saying all lives matter at this church because that's common sense. Black people are the ones, it feels like their lives are apparently worth less on our streets. But the whole pretense is that, oh, cops are the ones just recklessly taking blacks' lives because they're racist. They have this implicit bias. All that stuff, all that fake thing. Meanwhile, blacks are killing each other like crazy, and even worse, thanks to Black Lives Matter. Even worse, it's off the deep end. It's called the Ferguson effect, and now there's another one, another Ferguson effect, only this one isn't from the Ferguson riots, it's from the attacks on cops to this day. And this guy, he hung out with Justin Bieber.
To this day!
Just kissed up to all the celebrities and kissed up to abortion. Oh, we would have a conversation. We would have a conversation about if abortion is wrong. Stuff like that. And same-sex marriage. Well, he's 41 years old, and he wrote on Instagram that he was not taking care of his own spirit. And so he didn't go look for help when he needed it. And so he was unfaithful to his wife. And look at this guy. He just looks so goofy. I mean, yeah, he does kind of look goofy. I mean, that's not the... How are you going to take that guy seriously? But anyway, he admitted that he broke the trust and he wants to get the trust back of his wife and children. His 3 kids, I think. They married in like 2003. And looking at them, they just look, these two, the couple, they look like shallow people. Materialistic, worldly, based on appearances type people. To me, that's how I take that. That's my impression. And he was promoting, to this day, he's promoting this fake posting Emmett Till.
To this day!
Emmett Till was some 14-year-old black boy who got beaten and tortured and nasty, according to what we're told, right? Nasty, crazy murder, right? Because, I mean, they downplay everything that he did, right? So he either whistled at a white woman or talked to a white woman, and then the woman said that, she lied before she died. The woman who accused him lied, but either her husband or a man and his son kidnapped this guy and did something crazy to him. And this is what, this type of stuff is happening all the time. These types of crazy murders, especially in Mexico, but also from blacks and all that. I think that might be his mother, Emmett Till's mother, all crying and upset. A jury acquitted the guys who allegedly did it. But, I mean, this is something that's pushed by Oprah Winfrey and this whole Black Lives Matter thing. So I honestly doubt that we're getting the real story. You know what I mean? Not that I have a problem if it did happen. But they're pretending it's happening to this day.
To this day!
And so they're pretending, Black Lives Matter has a valid complaint. No, they don't.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
So He's a phony, and he should have gotten kicked. He should have gotten kicked off back then, the day he said Black Lives Matter, because he supported a lie. Nasty. But yeah, I mean, he's just a. Honestly, I think, remember with Church with Jesse Lee Peterson about that black guy, the black pastor who cheated on his wife a couple of times? Said, what, Christians still sin? What's the big deal? So, that's him. I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Whatever, Skip. He says my forehead is shiny today. Let me get to Maze in Dayton, Ohio. She wants to respond to Art and Rick, the voice of reason in the black community on this show. Maze, how are you doing?
First of all, I don't speak for the black community. I speak for myself.
I'm talking about Art and Rick. They are the voice of reason.
Really?
Yes.
I was listening to Art, and I was listening to that man that walked down the road, Rick. He said immigrants coming to this country. He needs to look at Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump. Don't they have immigrants as wives?
I don't know.
You don't know. When the truth hits you, you don't know nothing. Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't recall.
And so then I look at this election. Ain't nobody trying to stop these people that love Trump. Ain't nobody trying to stop them from loving. They can keep on loving the matter. I mean,
oh no, they're trying to stop them. Are you aware of Antifa beating up people?
I don't want to hear nothing about no Antifa. I don't want to hear nothing about.
I know because you don't want to hear nothing about the truth.
No, that's not what make America work.
Exactly. But Joe Biden supports Antifa.
No. I don't want to hear about no Antifa because Antifa don't make no laws here.
Yes, they do.
Do they? What laws do they make?
They have an Antifa D. Is it the DA or is it the Attorney General? The Attorney General, Maze, of Missouri or Minnesota. Not Michael Eric Dyson. Minnesota. That guy, Keith Ellison. He is Antifa, and his son is Antifa. They support Antifa. And so, yes, they are making the laws. It is Jim Crow against white people in America today, Maze.
Where were you at when they were stopping the post office from delivering mail to the post office and moving post office boxes and taking down machines? And
that had been happening a long time, Maze. You know why they take down... Hold on, Maze. Hold on, Maze. You know why they take down post office boxes? Because people steal mail.
No,
Gangs
that's not. I'm saying
steal
during the time
mail.
Absentee voting, that's when they were trying to do it.
No, it's not, Maze. You're quoting fake news.
Am I lying, James?
Yes, you're lying.
You know you're lying. That's what you do. You're good at doing.
Hold on, Maze. Just a few years ago, there used to be a...
I'm not talking about the years ago.
Hold on. Just a few years ago, there used to be mailboxes out here, and they would do something where the mail would stick onto the little door thing, and then they could steal the mail back, or they would steal stuff. So they had to remove the mailboxes because society has become degenerate. So you don't know what you're talking about, Mace?
So why did they move the stuff inside the post office so people wouldn't get
security?
On time.
For security.
You're right. That's what's in your mind. That's why I say if you can't think, that's the way you look.
But you can't think either.
Like Art,
you're a liar.
Like Art.
You're a liar, Mace.
The yellow bus, whatever you call me, I have facts. Whatever you're saying is just a bunch of
No, you have a whole lot. You just have a bunch of rhetoric.
And I have a question to ask you, James.
Yeah.
What does that lady mean about an African angel going to come and save them, save somebody? What kind of African? Paula, what's her name? Paula? That's supposed to be that preacher lady.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't? What do you mean?
You're talking about Paula White or somebody.
Yes,
I don't know.
When she
I haven't kept up with that.
Oh, you need to?
No, I don't need to.
So you don't keep up with what you need to be. You know, you keep up with all this unnecessary ignorant stuff.
Nope. You're the one ignorant.
When it came to that,
did you vote for Donald Trump? Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I didn't vote for him because
Shameful.
I have to tell you why I didn't vote for him?
Shame on you, woman.
No, shame on you.
No, shame on you.
If you wanted to, that was your business. I didn't tell you didn't have to do that. Y'all want to control people's mind and tell them what to do. It's over. You can't do that anymore.
Yes, you can. Yes, I can.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I can.
You want to. So all you got to do is be like the day when...
Be quiet, woman.
Remember when Megan came down that little plank and said, Obama lost? That's where y'all are today. That same point when she came down on Fox TV and said Obama had lost. And in reality,
so you're gloating. You're gloating.
You're gloating.
Maze is gloating because she thinks evil won.
Y'all can still love the man.
You support
Everybody,
evil,
did
Mace.
somebody tell y'all I had to stop loving him? Keep on. WrestleMania. They love
WrestleMania?
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's what
Whatever,
we're looking
Mace.
at when we see you as a group.
So you just came in
So
here
that's
to lie and gloat.
I came in here to help you out.
No,
I'm not
no,
gloating
you're
about
not
nothing.
helping. You don't like helping
Yes,
people.
You better listen. You better listen to your Uncle Joe trying to tell you.
Uncle
Y'all
Joe,
sit
I don't
down
have a
somewhere
Joe.
and let it
Uncle.
be. Your Uncle Joe
Oh,
is telling
jeez.
y'all.
Did
He's
you
not
vote
talking-
for
he's talking
Joe
to you.
Biden? Did you vote for
He's
Joe
talking
Biden?
to you. I ain't vote for nobody. Is that
No.
good enough for
Did
you?
you
I
vote
tell
for
my-
Joe Biden?
My vote is personal. It's not for you to know.
Then how
and
come you
never
said you
find
didn't
out.
vote for anybody?
What'd you say?
You
I'm just
lied.
like the- I'm just
Somebody
like Earl
lied.
said that he said he wrote Ronald Reagan name in. What's the name? Mitt Romney. Not Mitt Romney. One of them governors said that they wrote Ronald Reagan name in.
Nobody
Ronald
cares.
Reagan brought you what you got. Tell Art them that's how they got the legal aliens over here. Besides those who married them and bring them
know
here.
that, Maze.
Like your first lady, can even when she came, what did they
I'm
bring
gonna
her
hang
home?
up
Her
on you,
mother, her
Maze.
father, and her sister.
You have a good day.
What?
You have a good
Yeah,
day.
tell them to watch out for what they always talking about when they don't know what they run.
You have a good day.
Speak for the black community.
All right. I got to keep moving. Nicholas in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, first-time caller. Nicholas, what's up?
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, James?
Fine. How are you?
I'm all right. Listen, I just wanted to tell you that this morning it was reported from the Trump campaign, the first one that broke it that I heard of was the Crowder morning show, that Democrat poll workers in Nevada and other places have signed sworn affidavits under oath that they were told to fill in ballots that had mismatching signatures and no addresses. And nobody else obviously is reporting on it because...
Is that true?
Media. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they reported this morning.
Okay.
And that they have these
Interesting.
affidavits to take to court with them.
We'll see, man.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to mention was, if you get a chance to check into it, is powertopolls.org. It was an organization that was surveying people online. It was all over YouTube. And then they were sending them, if you passed their survey, directly to the application to become a poll worker. I obviously was looking into it, and then I failed the survey because I don't agree with BLM, Antifa, and all this other stuff.
Oh,
and when I
wow.
went to vote right here in Philly, I can prove it 100%. I took my mom, my brother, my old lady. We all went to go vote. I did not notice not one poll worker there that has been there forever. Is all different people. You could tell the kind of people they were.
Wow.
And the one dude who was running the machines, I had mentioned to him, I was like, that power to polls. I was like, I don't know I wonder how many people came here through there. And right away, everybody's like, oh, that's how we got here. That's how we got here. And I was like, how can they do that? Like, so if you didn't pass their survey, in other words, if you didn't agree with the entire leftist doctrine, they didn't put you through to fill out the proper application.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
It's all over YouTube. Every dang video, you get the commercial, powertopolls.org, and that's
I don't watch the commercials on YouTube. I'm still paying for that premium thing. I gotta cut that thing out.
I just want and yeah, that was reported this morning that they have sworn affidavits from Democrat poll workers. So that means
some honest Democrats, some Seth Riches.
Well, no, you got Richard Grinnell said a couple days ago on Newsmax that there's 3,062 criminal referrals in Nevada. Well, now
I heard
some of them
something
criminal
like that.
referrals are probably snitching. You know what I mean?
I hope so. It would be nice.
Me too, man.
It would be nice
And
if honesty wins.
And it's crazy because in Philadelphia, where I'm at, I'm in the heart of Philly too. There's a lot of people.
Right.
A lot. There's Trump flags everywhere. And then you hear that he didn't get no votes.
Somebody else, a Jewish lady, a Jew for Jesus lady, called into my show last week and said the same thing that you said, that it's basically Trump country over there.
And they say that he didn't get no votes. You know, at 2 in the morning, 1 or 2 in the morning, when they said that when Trump had that massive lead in Michigan, and then at 4 a.m., all of a sudden, the line on the graph shot straight up. Do you know to pull 128 or 138,000 votes for one candidate, even if the area is 99% Democrat, to pull that statistically, it's 1 in 1 with 79 zeros behind it.
Dang. So that means
you know what I'm saying?
That means it's less of a chance than never mind.
You could basically hit the mega jackpot like 5
times. What are the chances
in a
of
row.
a guy like me? Yeah, no, that's crazy.
I'm just so and what aggravates me, like your last caller, it's like you can use your brain even if you're a Democrat, and you can think like, hey.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Nicolas. My last caller, Maze, she thrives. Yeah. She thrives on needling and annoying you. So she takes delight in frustrating you. So
ready. Here's the whole
you have
thing
to overcome
in a nutshell.
that for sure.
All Trump is suing to have the votes recounted with Democrat and Republican there to watch.
They need an audit.
The votes, right. And so they're verified.
Yeah.
If they have nothing to hide, why are they fighting against verifying the votes?
Right.
That's it right there. If you have nothing to hide, it's like they got caught with their hand in a cookie jar.
Yep.
I mean, you got the same people who believe in unlimited genders trying to rig an election.
Right.
Like, they really tried to find the wrong people to rig an election. I'll tell you that.
Maybe they transgendered the votes. Votes for Trump got switched over to Biden.
They trans the vote.
Anyway, Nicolas, I got to end, but I appreciate the call. Thank you for the tips.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day, man.
You
Bye-bye.
too. I'm sorry to the callers. Adam, the first-time caller from Utah, says the New York bar mandates mandatory vaccines, guys. So watch out, New Yorkers. Tony from California thinks he wants to correct a lie I said, and Russ from Virginia is asking, are you aware Trump lost? I'm not aware Trump lost yet. Nothing is confirmed. So, guys, I'm sorry I cannot get to you. Call me tomorrow. This is the Hake Report, thehakereport.com. Dark Side of the Bear What says, what is your source, Maze? Mail theft is common. She also says drug addicts also steal and wash checks in the mail. Interesting. Yeah, it's true. And, let me just double check the Streamlabs. Thank you for the support, streamlabs.com/the Hake Report, and appreciate that. Based America first. I'm going to have some clean water. Waterwithvincent.com. That's cool. So thehakereport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for Jesse Lee Peterson's stuff. Take care, guys. Take it easy. See ya.